Hello and welcome to Polling Point. We're delving deep into the political arena of the 2024 elections, closely examining the freshest data and insights from a recent analysis by the team at 538. It's important to handle the analysis from 538 with a bit of skepticism, given their slight bias towards the left. Nevertheless, it's fascinating to observe from their latest election forecast that Donald Trump has taken a surprising lead. The significance of this shift can't be overstated, especially given 538's track record in previous election cycles. Recall the 2016 prediction debacle where they wrongly forecasted Hillary Clinton's victory in pivotal regions like the Upper Rust Belt, North Carolina, and Florida, only for those predictions to fall flat as she lost those critical states. As we count down the last 2 weeks before the election, emerging data increasingly points to a potential comeback for Donald Trump, suggesting he might reclaim the presidency. Just a short time ago, Kamala Harris was viewed as the frontrunner, aligning with 538's typical support for Democratic candidates. Yet, as the election draws closer, there appears to be a significant momentum shift towards Trump, who may even outdo his previous performances in the 2016 and 2020 elections. This election season introduces an intriguing scenario. For the first time, 538 indicates that Trump could potentially secure a win. This is a stark contrast to their prior predictions, which gave him only a 25% chance of winning in 2020 and a mere 10% in 2016. Despite these odds, Trump has continually surpassed expectations. A staggering 99% of our viewers haven't yet hit the subscribe button. If you find value in our videos, please show your support by subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. Next, we'll explore the electoral map more closely, identifying states where either Harris or Trump are predicted to win with more than 98% certainty. These states are emblematic of the profound political polarization gripping the nation, with Harris expected to prevail in liberal bastions such as Washington, California, Hawaii, and several northeastern states, including Joe Biden's home state of Delaware. Donald Trump is expected to perform strongly in the upcoming elections across areas traditionally known for their conservative leanings, such as Nebraska, apart from its 2nd district, as well as North and South Dakota and several other regions across the southern and midwestern United States. In these solidly conservative areas, Harris initially holds an advantage, securing 159 electoral votes compared to Trump's 113. However, this forecast might lean towards a more liberal perspective, potentially underestimating Trump's actual level of support. Therefore, it's advisable to approach these projections with caution. Looking at states where one candidate is favored significantly over the other, with chances ranging from 75% to 98%, the competition remains intense, albeit uneven. For example, while Harris is poised to win in states like Oregon and New Jersey, these victories are not as heavily Democratic as those in nearby states. Furthermore, in the Northeast, the margins by which Harris is expected to win in New Hampshire and Maine are quite narrow, usually less than 5 percentage points, suggesting these could be tighter races than seen in previous elections. In Virginia, despite a notable Democratic victory in the previous election cycle, the victory margin is expected to narrow due to a slight tilt toward the Republican side, highlighted by the Republican gubernatorial victory in 2021. This pattern of diminishing Democratic leads is also observed in New Hampshire and Maine, where the contests are close, but Harris is anticipated to ultimately win. In states like Colorado and New Mexico, Harris is expected to secure victories, though with narrower margins compared to Biden's strong performance in 2020, where he won New Mexico by 11 points and Colorado by 14. Harris is still favored to win, but the margins are projected to be tighter, reflecting a potentially more challenging electoral landscape. Furthermore, in Minnesota, a state that has consistently favored Democratic candidates for over 5 decades, the selection of Tim Walz as Harris's vice presidential running mate might significantly influence the election outcome. Despite the slim margin by which Clinton won in 2016 and a more comfortable victory for Biden in 2020, Harris is determined to achieve at least an equivalent result to maintain her stance in this increasingly competitive state. When adding up the votes from both the solid and likely Democratic states for Harris, including Maine's 2nd district, her total electoral count rises to 226. On the other hand, Trump's electoral chances improve when including the likely Republican states in his calculations, along with Maine's 2nd District, which he is expected to win again. This calculation points towards a closely contested race, emphasizing the importance of swing states in determining the final outcome. In the traditionally Democratic-leaning states of New York and Washington, Donald Trump is unexpectedly poised to make significant gains. He is also positioned to potentially secure wins in other states such as Oregon, New Jersey, Alaska, and South Carolina, which could result in a gain of 12 additional electoral votes for him. This scenario underscores his substantial competitiveness in the ever-changing realm of American politics. In the central United States, Iowa and Ohio have shifted from their Democratic support during Barack Obama's 2012 presidency to a marked preference for Donald Trump. These states, which are typically seen as critical battlegrounds, have consistently supported Trump in the 2016 and 2020 elections by large margins, indicating a noteworthy political transition. Despite forecasts that Joe Biden would outperform Hillary Clinton in these crucial states, Donald Trump managed to maintain his stronghold, replicating his 2016 victory margins in the 2020 elections. This ongoing trend suggests that the Democratic Party may face significant challenges in reclaiming these regions, which seem poised to stay under Republican influence for the foreseeable future. In the crucial Sun Belt states of Texas and Florida, Trump's electoral success in 2020 was marked. He secured Texas by a 6-point margin and Florida by 3 points. Although there was a slight reduction in his lead in Texas from 2016, his improved performance in Florida was significant, marking the largest margin of victory in that state since 2004. Looking ahead, projections suggest that Trump could win Florida by a margin not seen since the 1980s, and he is also poised for a decisive victory in Texas. Collectively, these states offer a substantial 70 electoral votes, pushing Trump close to surpassing Kamala Harris with just 7 more electoral votes required. In Arizona, another key Sun Belt state, recent polls show Trump with a 63% likelihood of winning, albeit by a narrow margin. As Arizona's electoral significance increases, this shift might indicate a broader realignment within this critical region, potentially impacting the outcome of future elections. This scenario exemplifies the dynamic nature of U.S. electoral politics and emphasizes the pivotal role of swing states in shaping the national political landscape. Arizona, having recently learned Democratic in the last election, now finds itself at a critical juncture that could be pivotal in the upcoming election. Trump is anticipated to make a strong resurgence, highlighting Arizona's crucial role in achieving a Republican victory. In Georgia, which has become increasingly important in this election cycle following Biden's slim victory in 2020, current polls favor Trump, giving him a 63% chance of reclaiming the state. This reflects the considerable challenges Vice President Harris faces as she strives to appeal to Georgia's electorate. The electoral landscape remains highly competitive, particularly in 5 key battleground states where the race is currently too close to call, with no candidate holding more than a 60% likelihood of victory according to recent polls. This intensely competitive environment sets the stage for what could be a nail-biting contest that may swing either way. As we shift our focus from the Sun Belt to the Midwest, Nevada emerges as another vital battleground state. Although it has historically voted Democratic since 2004, current projections only assign Vice President Harris a 52% chance of securing the state, underscoring Nevada's significant role in the broader national electoral context, despite its relatively few electoral votes. Even though Nevada is presently predicted to lean Democratic, President Trump's increasing probabilities could change the dynamics of the forthcoming election, establishing it as a key player in determining the overall electoral outcome. In North Carolina, crucial to President Trump's strategy to win the presidency again, he is currently favored to prevail with a 58% probability. Despite controversies surrounding Mark Robinson, a Republican gubernatorial candidate, these issues seem to have minimal impact on Trump's robust position in North Carolina, highlighting its strategic significance in amassing the necessary electoral votes for a Trump victory. Former President Trump is on the brink of securing a win, needing only 8 additional electoral votes. His performance remains strong in 3 of the 4 pivotal battleground states across the Sun Belt, while the Midwest states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, play a critical role yet again. Notably, in Pennsylvania, Trump has edged ahead, now holding a 50% likelihood of winning, marking his first lead there in several months. Vice President Harris, despite her initially promising outlook, now faces diminishing odds of victory, with her chances currently evaluated at 43%. This decline is mirrored in Wisconsin and Michigan, where President Trump is projected to win with probabilities of 56% and 55% respectively. This change in momentum suggests a solidification of Trump's position in the race, contrasting with earlier forecasts and pointing towards a potential resurgence. Although the contest remains closely contested, the most recent projections by 538 anticipate Trump winning 281 electoral votes compared to Harris's 257, showing a gradual shift in his favor as Election Day draws near. As the current polling data leans more favorably towards President Trump, his possible re-election and return to the White House in January are increasingly likely to occur. As we move closer to Election Day, we invite our readers to remain actively involved by sharing their thoughts in the comments, and to keep following us for thorough analyses and the latest updates on this unfolding story.